This one's the nuke I created last. Looks like they're quite nice and full up in the top, which is great to see. I'm gonna probably wear some gloves just to make my job easier, because I'm kind of in a hurry today, like usual. I don't have a ton of time to do beekeeping. Gloves just allow me to speed up the process a little bit. Got to get all these hives painted, so I don't want to. I just have a lot of stuff I'm trying to do in the bee yard today, so I will just kind of speed it up here. So that is nice to see. This whole thing is honey or maybe sugar water. I did give them a gallon last week of sugar syrup. I'm guessing this is probably all going to be nectar up here. Maybe a little bit of brood. Yep, nectar. Oh, that's one frame of brood over there. And yeah, there's still some brood on that side. It looks like I put a couple frames in the center and they just filled them up with nectar. I think I'm going to take these frames of brood and move them down though. That way the cluster will be in the bottom and not at the top. Let's see if they're... Oh, there's a lot of pollen here. Yeah, it's mostly hatching brood. And quite a bit of nectar in here, so I think I'll leave that up here. I don't see any eggs in this one. Should probably move the camera over to the other side, but this one's a capped frame of brood, and it's all capped on this side. And I see down in there that's totally honey. So essentially I have, it looks like about 4 frames of honey up in here. There's some brood, but mostly honey, so that is good. I need to get this thing as full of honey as I can, or full of sugar, whichever. It needs to be as full as possible before winter. So it looks like they're really pulling in the goldenrod, and it looks like the population's doing pretty good. I'm going to take a look in this one. I did boost them significantly with additional bees and brood the last couple weeks. I want to make sure as I go through here that I'm not going to kill the queen or anything, because it's especially important this time of year. It gets harder to replace. I see a lot of emerging brood. There's eggs in here, so I know the queen is viable, and there's honey on the rim. This one's the one in the center. But I'm pretty impressed with the amount of nectar they've stored. I may not have to feed them as much as I thought I would. Hopefully they ripen it in time. We do have a few weeks left. This is capped brood in this one. And it looks like brood over there. So we're still quite a bit of brood in here. Mostly capped. So all of those capped bees are going to be our nice winter population. But it's quite amazing how bees can survive in the winter. This colony probably has, let's see, there's 10 frames, 0.66 pounds of frame. There's probably 6 pounds of bees in this colony, which is approximately 18,000 bees. And it's amazing to think that they can survive in the really cold winters in Michigan. We get usually not too often below 0, but it does get below 0. And sometimes, especially with wind chill, it can get -60, but I don't know, without the wind chill it might be -20 here and there, -10. Usually not not too often where it gets down to that, but just to think that these little bees can make it through the winter. It's pretty amazing. They keep the cluster at the core of the cluster at least. If there's no brood in there, they keep it at, I think it's 68 degrees, I believe. So I just flipped this one over. I'm going to put an entrance reducer on this bottom board. I'm not sure if the camera could see that or not, but I'm going to put an entrance reducer on here. So I'm going to put this on for an upper entrance and to give them additional space for putting pollen substitute on. This is just so annoying to me. They don't make the width of these things standard, and now I have this overlap. But what I'm doing on here is I'm putting a feeding shim on, and when it gets a little colder, I'm going to put a piece of parchment paper down, and I'll pour dry sugar on top of here. But I want to put this on now so that it gives them an opportunity to propolis around the edges. I'm not too concerned about burr comb. They're not really building wax at this time of year. They're mainly focused on storing honey, so I'm not too concerned that they're going to fill it up with burr comb. But I just want to give them an opportunity to seal it all up with propolis before it gets too cold. And then, because the inner cover has a vent on this side, so I want to provide additional venting. I'm also putting this bubble wrap insulation on top. It's going to provide additional insulation for the cold. That's kind of my plan for wintering.